All right, I'm gonna go with my boat. This is gonna be a long, lengthy video. It's kind of like the 140 was when I was redoing it. I did a lot of 140 videos. Doing a lot of catfishing right now, so it ain't gonna be usually by about middle of July, the 1st of August. I'm usually done with the catfishing. I'm all about bass fishing till hunting season rolls around. But you get my catfishing in kind of early. Anyhow, I'm gonna go with my catfishing boat here. Maybe get somebody some ideas on theirs. I'm probably gonna say just right out the gate. Yes, I brought this pontoon boat strictly for catfishing. That was the whole purpose of me buying it to begin with, was for catfishing. It did not look like it did now when I brought it. No, I probably had this boat well over 10 years now, I want to say. I've always loved fishing. All kinds of fishing. Don't really matter what kind of fishing it is. I love fishing. Anyhow, we're going to dive into it here. Now, I got this is my bait, my live well pump up there, bait tank pump, whatever you want to call it. That's a pump for that. I ain't ran number with some water hose. I'm going to start it in one end and I'm going to ease on around. I'm trying to skip over nothing. Because this is, but it's not a really expensive setup. It's nothing nice, it's nothing fancy. All right. This is the third engine I've had on this boat. The original engine was a 50 horsepower Johnson. And that engine needed to be rebuilt. I still have it. It's got low compression. It was a 2-cylinder. It had low compression on one of them. I think what had happened with that was using the old El Cheapo 2-stroke oil. This one, I'm not making a mistake. I'm using the actual Johnson oil in this one. I had a Mercury on here in between the two Johnsons. I can tell you now, I would never have another Mercury. Not the older ones. The newer ones may be fine, but them older ones, they are not. I got to do my own mechanic work. And I can tell you, just the carburetors are a complete nightmare to work on. You got to pull the dissect the entire engine. It's got a belt drive. Distributor has to come off. You even get to the bolts on them. They're a nightmare. If you're going to do your own mechanic work on a boat motor, I strongly encourage you to go with a Johnson. They are workhorses. When they say seahorse, they mean it. They're workhorses. This one got seahorse on it. My 50 had seahorse roof on it somewhere. Anyway, enough about the motor. This has got now I got a stainless steel prop on this now. It's really heavy. It's kind of overkill. The pitch, I think it's a 15 pitch on this thing, I want to say. I'm almost positive this pitch is a 15 pitch. Now, with an aluminum 15 pitch, I got this propeller for free, so I didn't complain. I had a 15 pitch aluminum on it, and this motor was screaming to the point of I was uncomfortable running it full throttle. Now, I think I can go to a 17 pitch aluminum prop and get a little more speed there and have the RPMs a little lower. But this is a 15 pitch prop, and the pitch is the angle of the blade. And like I said, this got my RPMs very what I wanted. I'm about 22 mile an hour, two people. While I got my head under here, I'm gonna mention this here. I'm gonna mention this, and then I'm gonna get off of it. I'm going to do a separate video on that. Underskin your pontoon boat if you ain't understand it. You ain't got to spend a bunch of money in underskinning no fancy dancing metal. That's roofing metal straight off a roll from the wholesale place in town up here that sells roofing metal. I got them cut me metal right off a roll. That metal is about 41 inches wide, and I had to strip a piece over here. And what that does, that keeps the beams on the bottom of the floor from dragging the water. My boat's only 18 foot. Got 19-inch pontoons on it. So it's nothing big and long special. Anyway, that's cheap underskinning. Chips, it's already cut. It's just not quite wide enough. You got a piece that one little strip in. Underskin it. That'll pick your speed and everything up dramatically because it takes all the floor drag out. All right, on to the next thing. I want to get in the boat and I'll show you what I did here. This boat originally had a bimmy top on the top of it. And with the bimmy top, I still have it. I can stick it right back on the boat anytime I want it. But my all-around light was on top of the bimmy top. So when I got rid of the bimmy top was always in the way of my fishing rod holders all the time. I don't really fish on this thing in the hot sun a lot. And when I do, I can pull this thing up somewhere in the shade on the ground and fish. But the bimmy top was always in the way. I got all the brackets, everything. It won't take me but a few minutes to snap it back on there. It'd be good to go again if I want to use it. It's not an option. I just had to take them rod holders and take them off. All right, that's the underpinning. This is number of the PVC pipe. This is a floor piece you put in the floor to run your pipe through the floor with on like a 2-story house, 3/4. That's all I did. I screwed the hose clamp to it, put the hose clamp in it. I got another concoction in yonder that I'm gonna tow it off under the tree limbs. I'm gonna put it back on there. I'll show you that. All right, go around the boat. This is my low ranch transducer here, back here. It's a water hose, just the old water hose I had laying around here, going up here to my live well bait / bait tank. And I'll get to that in a minute. We'll start at the back of the boat. All right, this one has broke, but this one has broke. But what I'm gonna do here, these are little strip lights you get. I think some of these came from Walmart, some of these came from Amazon. This one them broke. Well, get your fishing rods hanging up in the rod holder. You want your light outside the boat to shine up on the rods, because if it's inside the boat, it's going to blind you at night. All right, we're going to go on around the boat here. I've had foot control trolling motors on this boat multiple times. They always seem to be in the way because I don't use them a lot. So I use 12-volt 45-pound thrust. Just clamp, and I take the head and just turn the head around so that it works on the front of the boat, because that's really made for the back of the boat. 45 pounds moves this boat around pretty decently. 55 pounds is better if you're running 12 bolt. I've had a 24 bolts on here. I've had a 70-pound thrust on here. Like I said, I've had this boat 10 years. I experimented with a whole lot of stuff on here. But if it's on the front, if your trolling motor's on the front, if it's not in your way, that's pretty convenient. Just bolt it to the floor, and I'll show you why I had it bolted to the floor before. As long as it's not in the way. I don't use the trolling motor much on here. Maybe run some noodles or something, or in a shallow spot. When I'm in shallow water, I use it. But I rather use it for fishing. But I like that. I can just take it out, I clamp it on the side of the rail, and it's out the way. All right. These are LED light strips. I'm gonna change this really soon. And what I mean by change it, these shine right up on the fishing rods, just as pretty as you want to be. That's why I like a white fishing rod. These white lights shine right up on those fishing rods beautifully. Now what I'm gonna do is, this is the change I'm fixing to make. So I got one up here on this corner here for these 2 rod holders. These are just some cheap Walmart LED docking, not docking lights. They're not even marine lights. These are, I don't think Walmart even sells those anymore. Those are some of the first LED spotlights that Walmart ever started selling. They're good. I ain't had no problem with them. They're pretty sturdy, even though they're plastic. They're pretty sturdy. I've beat and banged them all up. I use these very much. All right, what I'm gonna do here, the change I'm gonna make with these lights. These lights have got really old. They've been on there 8 to 10 years. You see how they got, I could probably maybe clean them up, make them bright and white again. I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna order a 16-foot green strip and a red strip. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna run the green down this side and the red down the other side. And that's gonna be my lights. All right, I got LED bulbs and everything, and every light on here, because I'll show you once I get inside the boat. And my trailer, I don't have no carpet on these. I replaced these here recently in the last 2-3 weeks. Still had the original wood on it. And I just went back with 2x6 pressure treated, no carpet. And I sunk the carriage head bolts in the deep so they won't get on my pontoons. All right, we're gonna step inside the boat here, and I'm gonna show you some stuff inside the boat. don't have no fancy dancy step. All right, this boat had carpet all in it. These are just cheap Walmart seats. All right, these are what's left over my little aluminum bass boat that I bass fish with. But I took them out of that. There was the 2 seats that was in that, and I replaced. I brought a set of used set of these. It was 3 of them, you know, like brand new. So I put 2 of them in my Luna boat, and I replaced my captain seat. Cause this is where I fish at. This is where I ride at. It's in that one. Those little cheapos. I'm gonna sooner or later replace those 2. These are really good seats from Walmart. I don't have no complaints about these seats. They're good and sturdy. Hold 300 pounds with no problem. And what I do when I'm using my trolling motor, this is why these holes in the floors where I've had foot control trolling motors mounted here. It's always in the way. My dad uses a wheelchair ramp that I did a little short video on, and it's no way I can have a permanent mounted trolling motor up here. He make it come in on the side. And then this front door, I purposely removed this front door. This front door was always in my way. Well, it was in the way of the trolling motor. It was always in my way. So I purposely removed this front door. I don't need that front door. This is where I get in and out the boat. I mean, it probably maybe the boat don't look as good. I still have it, but it was always in the way. Always. So I brought this boat for catfishing. Rod holders. I mean, rod holders mean transport rod holders, not fishing rod holders. Then I'm a PVC pipe. All right. You drill a big hole here to get your bit through, and just put the screw to the inside to the aluminum. These have been in here for years, and you had no problem with them. I keep my boat outside, so the carpet was a problem. The catfish slime would get all over the carpet. It was a problem. Me and my wife's brother, we removed all the carpet. We took razor blade, we ran and moved it. It kept waterlogging my plywood. I don't have nowhere to store this boat inside. And I'm gonna tell you something else. If your boat's gonna be outside, every time you replace a piece of wood, some of you might frown on it, when you replace a piece of wood, replace it with either plastic or metal. If it's gonna be outside, I wouldn't even, that's what I've been doing. The only last piece of wood, 2 pieces of wood left in this boat is the console. I have the cover for that. I've been messing with stuff in here. Every year I get to do some sort of wiring on this thing. The boat's terrible with wiring. I had another battery box here. I removed this battery box because so my father can get around in the boat. These chairs pull up, and I removed the battery box so he can maneuver around in the boat with his electric wheelchair. And I removed the seats, and he can go all the way around. But he can turn around back there and come back out this way where the ramp's at. All right. These are your Walmart rod holders. These work good. I mean, I had a bunch of PVC pipe laying around, so I just cut a lot of them with a PVC pipe. And then what I had here, I say, that's how you don't want your fishing rods laying in the floor. You're going to mess up your walking space. You're going to step on them. You're going to drop stuff on them. You need to have them in transport up at the floor if you want them to last. All right. I put some separate holders here for my bass poles. Sometimes I take my bass poles with me when I get bored. All right, let's go on to the next thing here. My batteries. I keep 3 batteries in the boat normally. I had this one in here with a box like this, and I purposely removed it so my dad can get by that corner over there. And I can tell you, this is a Coleman solar panel. I don't never put a battery charger on this boat, using this boat once a week. It charges during the week while I'm at work. It's not under cover, it's sitting outside. And like I said, I don't have no problems with that. Now, this Bob the Builder stuff I got going on, I'll explain that in a minute too. This is a long video. All right. Make sure I'm not skipping. Boat anchors. Check with your farmers. These are my worn out chisel plow points. Welded together. A little piece of metal in there. You asked them about the zip tie. All right. In case you don't know, you zip tie your boat anchor. Your boat anchor here like this. So You zip tie like this. I've lost a whole lot of anchors. You'll go bankrupt trying to replace boat anchors around here. So what you do is you zip tie that to it. That's a big bag of zip ties in that box over there. Your anchor's gonna dig in like this. All right. When it hangs up and it won't come unhung, just keep snatching on it and that zip tie break. When the zip tie breaks, you pull that anchor right on up then. That makes any sense to you. All right, to the next thing. I run planer boards sometimes. These are planer boards. They pull your baits off to the sides here. You know, they got a left and right. I run a planer board sometimes too. All right, this bait tank was given to me. I don't know what to call it, a bait tank. It came with a factory one here, but it was really cruddy, cheap. With the factory, they had a factory live well in this boat from the factory. And it was just cheap. You tried to put a fish in it, it busted it all to pieces. A friend of mine brought this one. He didn't like it because it wasn't insulated. He gave it to me. I looked at it. I said, that's what I need on the front of my boat. It's got a cutting board made in the top of it. You see I use it a lot. All right, you put bait in this. And that's not fish scales. That's just dirt off the fish. Well, I drug them up on the bank and then threw them in there. This thing holds a pretty large fish. It's pretty large. See how long it is. They're kind of expensive. It's about a 4 foot long tank. All right, what I got it plumbed up is I pump fresh water off the back of the pontoon to fill the tank. All right, it's got a plug in the bottom of it. I need to plumb something to run it, to drain it from under the boat, and I've never did it. So what all this concoction going on here is I got a circulator pump in the bottom that will just circulate the water. You fill it from the one on the back of the pontoon. Then once I fill it, I circulate through here. All right. Well, I can close this valve and use that same circulating pump to pump most of the water back out the tank. And the only thing that you have to drain is a little bit that's left in the bottom where the drain plug is. And it pumps the rest out back on the ground instead of letting it spill all in the floor. All right, go on to the next thing. I'm trying not to miss nothing here. Your whole boat tutorial here. All right, I run a low ranch fish finder. Like I said, I took all my furniture out. This whole back end was just closed off. It had a big door that was a pain. The batteries was originally back here. It was too much weight really in the back of the boat. The gas tank was batteries on one side, gas tank on the other side, and all of it was closed in. It was a pain to put gas in because you had to lift the bimmy top up, lift that up, prop it up, lift the back top up to get to the gas tanks. It had two tanks in it, and when you needed to switch one, you had to go through all of that. So and all that stuff was in the way. I got rid of this. It had a big back seat cross here, and it was nice, yes. If you were just tubing or just out casual riding, it was great. It was nice. I brought this boat to fish off of, so we got rid of all that. The first 2 or 3 years, we eventually slowly got rid of it. I took everything out, but the storage was under the seat. I threw my storage away when I did that. The storage was under the seat. You lift the seats up and your storage was under the seat. These has been in here for 3 or 4 years, at least. These are my totes you get at Walmart. And it sits outside. And it's nice and dry. There's all my life jackets, my fish scales, my fish finder. This is the fish finder I run. I don't know what model number it is and nothing else. But anyway, this is the fish finder I run. Very good fish finder. No problems with it. I brought it used. That's the zip ties I was telling you about. I put on my boat anchors. But anyway, storage. All you gotta have is just a tote from Walmart to put your life jackets in and all that stuff. I still got stuff in here from a little trip. One anchor on the front, one anchor on the back. Mounted the fire extinguisher back there. 12-gallon tank is all I need. All right, go over the batteries. That's my fish finder. I use a low-range fish finder. It goes right there on that mount. I used to have a CD player in here in case anybody wanted a big hole for. I used to have a radio CD player. This is an Amazon switch that's useless. Half the switches don't work no more. I'm getting ready to do a rewire on this, all of this stuff here. We're gonna go to Napa and get some good quality toggle switches, and I'm gonna put a piece of metal in here and mount my switches on them and label them. All right. That's a Mueller, however you say it, tank. I think that was kind of expensive. I added this little live well light in the top of it. It comes on with the circulating pump, and I can pump water out of the lake into to fill the tank. Then I can pump that same water with that circulating pump right back in on the ground after I'm done. And then I only have the little bit to drain at the bottom in the floor. All right. The only things normally in this boat when I'm fishing, this is food and stuff we had from yesterday, tater chips and stuff like that. And that one tote holds all my life jackets, fish finder, and little accessories in that one tank. Top of them fell off to come off this one, but the only thing I had in this one up here was planer boards in that small one. You want your circle here less crowded as possible. All right, like I said, that's a trolling motor. I use a hand control on the boat because I don't use it a whole lot. One deep cycle battery on each side. Like I said, I removed that one so Dad can get around through here with his electric chair. And fishing in the daytime, a little bit early in the morning, a little bit late, just maybe an hour before dark. I don't need no other battery. I run the trolling motor all off that one battery, really. Starting battery is back here. This is the fire pit we hit. Usually all this is open. These two chairs. I'm gonna eventually replace them sooner or later. It's hard to stretch funding everywhere and put them two chairs in there in the rear. Those four will be matching. This is my captain's chair. These was used chairs I brought somewhere. But anyhow, what goes on here, I done ripped it off now, is that light there is supposed to be sitting on top of here with a separate toggle switch for this. This is a 16-foot roll of the white LED strip lights off of Amazon, and I rolled them onto I believe a 4-inch piece of pipe. I think that's a 4-inch PVC pipe, and that goes there, and I hung it on a tree limb and broke it off. That goes there. The all-around light goes up there. When you need light at the back of the boat, you hit the toggle switch and you turn it on. 16-foot LED white strip light on a 4-inch piece of PVC, adapted down to a 3/4 up here. They set your all-around light right in the middle of it and wire it together. This switch would turn this on and off. That's what I said. I got to get on some wiring on this thing. It's hard to spread all your time around every little thing. That needs to be repaired. But that's basically it. I mean, ain't nothing fancy. I got an extra holder here for my net. I usually take my gab hook. It's a sharp hook that you can hook fish with, pull it out the water, pull the fish out of the water. I want to add, I got 4 rod holders here. I want to add one more about right here and one more about right there. So I still got all my brackets in here for my beamy top framing. I can hook that back in here because they're my pins that hold it up here. I can do that at any time. It's still out here propped beside the building. Nothing wrong with it. It was just always in the way for me fishing, always. But I think I'm gonna change my LED lighting, and I'm gonna go red and green, one long strip all the way down the side, so that'll kind of, work with your navigation lights. So it'll be the same colors your navigation lights supposed to be. I think that'd be pretty neat. And I'm gonna rework this. These Amazon switchboards may be fine. That's supposed to be a voltmeter, cigarette lighter, and a USB. Some of it, half of it works and still works, and half of it don't. That may be okay if you kept your boat stored inside, maybe. Me storing it outside, that don't work for me. But that's pretty much it. And it's still, like I said, I can put the beamy top on if I wanted to go out. I can still hook a tube behind this. I mean, you still sprawl out on the floor and get you a tan, bring your towel or whatever. You don't like my seats, you can bring your own little seat. So I mean, my main concern is being able to catfish comfortably and efficiently out of this boat. Now, I can tell you, I've catfished in a lot of other style boats for, in my opinion, pontoon boat is the best catfishing boat you can get. Plenty of room. Look here, you can run all around this thing, no problem. You can get around. The boat's sturdy. The only downfall to a pontoon boat is you gonna party in slow motion. You're not gonna get that fast, quick, and in a hurry. All right, and another little piece I added on to this too. I put me a water spray nozzle on here. Don't look like I've been using it. That's a little short piece of water hose I put on here. Be able to wash stuff out with off of the pump. Don't look like I've been using it. But anyhow, that's pretty much that. And I got some LED strip lights here. Strip lights on each side. Got a horn here. These are for, cabin lights from the floor. And I got one in the back. I'm gonna leave these alone. These are fine. I'm gonna leave them alone. I'm gonna remove that. I don't need that no more. I'm gonna remove that. I'm gonna rework a lot of this stuff here real soon so I get a chance to. But Johnson's a great engine. No complaints about a Johnson engine. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. LED lights on the side of my console. I got a fiberglass console out there, and I said, well, this one never rots away. This one's still very sturdy. I said, if this one never rots away, we're gonna go with the fiberglass. Fiberglass, plastic, or metal if your boat's sitting outside. Don't really waste your time and money on no wood. There's no need. I said, I don't care about the fancy part. I want to be able to go out comfortably catfishing and maneuver around. That top was always in the way. The carpet was always a problem. And when I replaced this wood, I'm going back with aluminum diamond plate flooring or composite flooring. I'm not going back with no wood. I'm not. Anyhow, this is my catfishing pontoon boat tutorial. I'm gonna step down real quick and I'm gonna step out. Show you what the other side it looks like. LED strip light here to shine up on these two rod holders. Like I said, I'm gonna do away with those, and I'm gonna go. These are wired into my navigation lights, but I said I'm gonna do a red and green, long strip all the way down the side, hopefully. Then I got old. They've been running off probably close to 10 years now. And I'm gonna try to run a LED strip all the way down the side. Just get a 16-foot strip. I don't think the floor of my boat is 16 foot. I'm correct on this. I think 18 foot. The boat's classified 18 foot. I think the tunes are 18 foot, but the floor is close to 16 foot. But that's a scroll on my catfishing boat and how I got it set up and how I've had it set up. And if you got any questions, leave it in the comments. Poor man's rig here. I think I paid $2,700 for the boat 10 years ago. Boat and trailer. The trailer is a 06 trailer, but the boat's a 91. I don't even think that company, I don't think makes boats anymore. I don't think, no hope into that. But that was a fishing boat originally, the fishing model, because it had a live well up front. But anyway, thanks for watching. This is my catfishing boat.